Brownie.
It's a podcast bonus. Dr. James Stewart. He's recently been awarded Australian Doctor of the Year and the People's Choice at the 2021 Australian Cannabis Industry Awards. Yes, he's a cannabinoid clinician. That is tough to say. To find out more, head to drjamesstewart.com.au. Here's Dr. JS.
So excited to ask all the questions, Dr. James, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's suddenly, we've heard about cannabinoid. Is it cannabinoid?
Cannabinoids.
Yes. For a long time, but they were sort of taboo and illegal and only for druggies and all that. And then all of a sudden, I've noticed the literature has changed and the advice has changed and the information has changed. And I've got some questions. If I take this, am I going to become addicted?
No, you're not. So the important thing first up is that within cannabis, the two main molecules we look at are THC and CBD.
Yes.
THC is the one that everyone knows about, the one that makes you stoned, so to speak, and that's that's the one that can have the problems with it. There's no addictive properties to it, though, however. But with medicinal cannabis, we're predominantly using CBD, which is the non-psychotropic molecule, and it has the benefits it's circulating through our body and fixing inflammation, dialing down anxiety and these type of things. So, no, you're not going to get addicted and you're not going to be stoned either.
Your background is a medical doctor and you've changed direction. What is it about this product that made you change your life?
So going through med school, we are taught predominantly pharmaceuticals. You know, we're taught this pill for this issue, and if they get this side effect from this pill, you give them this pill as well, and blah, blah, blah. And so going through med school, I'm just like, I've always sort of sat on the healthier sort of plant, natural side of things, hydration, exercise, all these type of things first, and then last resort go for a pharmaceutical. But we're not taught that in med school. And all through our hospital years and GP years, it's just someone comes in with this, here's this pill, see you later. Oh, you've got that side effect, here's another pill kind of thing. And it just didn't sit that well with me. And then cannabis, we were allowed to prescribe medicinal cannabis back in 2016, and around then I had some reps coming around to the GP practice and sort of were introducing us to some cannabis products. And I thought, okay, well, I had this one patient who I just couldn't get her to get a good night's sleep. I was throwing the things we do, the sleeping pills, all these type of things, which are nasty because you can get them addicted, but these poor people just want a good night's sleep. So anyway, I thought, okay, let's try a little bit of cannabis, and I did use THC for this lady. She came back 2 days later and was thanking me, like just saying, oh my God, I'm having the best sleep ever. So I just started prescribing a little bit more and learnt how to do it all. And the benefits were just amazing.
My experience of that is I started taking some at the start of the year when I was battling. And look, after obviously a long football career, a lot of injuries, knee and hips specifically, I was really struggling with night pain, and I was concerned the amount of anti-inflammatories I was still taking, even 6-7 years after I've retired. We know it's not great for your guts. So I just tried this oil, and it was remarkable how good I started to feel, but how good a night's sleep I had. I wasn't getting those night pains anymore.
You mentioned that, off air to us.
That was
friends.
The big thing for me, James.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It gives you the benefit of a good night's sleep as well, because also it helps with inflammation. I'm talking about CBD oil here, which doesn't have the psychotropic THC part. CBD will dial down that inflammation, and it's also really good for anxiety as well at the same time. So just slowing down that mind. So when you go to bed, one, you're more comfortable because your inflammation's down, and two, that mind, the bloody circus doesn't kick off like it tends to do when we get into bed. And
100%.
You're more calm and you can fall asleep. So, yeah, it's fantastic.
Are you high right now?
A little bit, yeah. No, I'm high on that introduction. That was amazing.
It was great. My genuine question, is it being prescribed to, say, current day athletes? Or is it just, Brownie used it years after his career was finished? Is it current day athletes using it?
Yes, probably the most famous one is Lauren Jackson. So she's a patient of mine, now back on the Aussie basketball team.
Yeah, back comeback. Is it because of you? Is it because of this?
A little bit. Not because of me, it's because of the amazing plant. But so, we've taken her from not being able to even run around and play with the kids to now back on the Australian basketball team.
The biggest question I had to ask when I went and got a prescription, because you do prescriptions for it, was, can I still drive when I take this? Because I was under it was probably a misconception I better take it at night in case I have to drive. but you actually can drive.
Yeah, so THC is the molecule that the police look for when they do the roadside drug test, and that's because that's the one that makes you intoxicated or makes you, you shouldn't be driving if you're stoned.
This is fascinating, and thank you so much for coming in. Now, Dino is a huge fan, but he's not here, but he's left a message.
Tight 5 with Dr. James Stewart.
Hello, my name is Dr. Green Thumb.
Brought to you by Dean Thomas.
Oh, yeah. Hey, James. Dr. James. How you going anyway?
Oh, good, mate. How are you doing?
That's one question.
Dr. James Stewart, do you think weed is a miracle plant?
Yes, it is. It's amazing. It's the oldest medicine we have on the planet, and it was a medicine prior to it being used recreationally, and it's unfortunate that in the early 1920s it did get labelled with heroin and cocaine and got labelled as a narcotic and then got pushed aside and went underground.
Yes.
What else we got?
Hey, Dr. James, are there many secrets that we haven't unlocked with the plant of weed?
Yes, there are. So at the moment we have two major cannabinoids, so THC, CBD, but there's also minor cannabinoids, so CBG, CBN, CBGA, all these different ones, and we still aren't quite sure what they do. There's also terpenes in the plant, which is the aromatics of the plant, so that occur naturally. So if you walk into a pine forest, that pinene gives a nice, fresh, uplifting feeling. And now if you get a product that contains a heavy pinene or citrus or limonene profile, that's going to be a little bit more uplifting. You go a lavender-based one, linalool, that's going to be a little bit more sedating, and we tend to use that for your evenings.
All right. Hey, James, you ever feel real hungry sometimes after what's your favourite snack?
No, I just use CBD oil predominantly at the moment, but we can actually use THC to induce appetite. So with patients who have eating disorders, people that are on chemotherapy that need appetite stimulation, we can introduce a little bit of THC and give them the so-called munchies, and then that benefits them as well.
All right.
Those brownies you brought in are not laced with weed, are they, Dr. James?
There's one in there that's, I said, is a booby trap, so whoever finds it, I'm joking.
You can have that, Pete. Great to have you in here, James. Thanks for coming in and giving us some information, making it a bit more informative. I had no idea until I started taking it. I was like, geez, this has been a life changer.
So interesting.
It's been a game changer for a lot of people, including myself.
And anyone progressive that wants to get in touch with you, how would they go about that?
So just head to my website, which is www.drjs.com.au, or look me up on Instagram, dr.james.stewart.
Thanks so much, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie, Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissy, Sam and Brownie, unless it's a weekend. Over 100.